We're now being joined by Mohammed Jamo Yusuf, the Special Advisor to Kano State Governor on Internal and International Relations. Good morning, sir, and thank you for joining us on the morning show.
Yeah, good morning, and
yes,
my greetings to viewers.
Okay, perfect. I hope that you were privy to our conversation earlier. There's been a bunch of accusations regarding, the situation in Kano State. Former Governor Abba Kwankwaso had said that he has no hand in what's going on in Kano State, and that he would inquire about the development when he visits the state. But we know that back in April 2023, Kwankwaso had said that, the incoming government will revisit Sanusi's dethronement. Now he's saying that he did not dictate what should be done. Do you have any new development as to whether or not, Kwankwaso is involved in this matter as well? I'd like to hear from your angle because that's one of the allegations that are being bandied around. I know that the Deputy Governor of Kano State has also claimed that the former governor of Kano State as well, Ganduje, is using federal might. He actually accused the NSA of providing the plane that Ado Bayero used to return to Kano. I'd love for you to unpack all of these allegations at this moment.
While this is quite a lot you want me to unpack, but let me make some attempt and see what I can be able to provide for you. Yeah, of course, back then when His Royal Majesty Emir Sanusi II 4 years ago was removed from office, there was a lot of passions, a lot of emotions, and a lot of things happened. And so many people spoke either for it or against it, which of course His Excellency Musa Kwankwaso, who was the main architect of the installation of Sanusi as the Emir of Kano, when then he was the sitting governor of Kano State. You cannot shield him from equally expressing his emotions. But when you fast forward to where we are today, as it stands, His Excellency Abba Yusuf is the governor of Kano State, and Alhaji Musa Kwankwaso is no longer at the helms of affairs of Kano State. He's just a citizen like any other person, or rather an indigene of Kano State. And I know he has stayed away and, of course, concentrating on issues that concerns him. So the issue of appointment or removal of Emir as it concerns the law here in Kano State by the act that was signed then by His Excellency the former governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, it was clearly stated in the act. The governor has the sole prerogative and power to remove the Emir whenever he finds reasons to do that. So it's clear it's only the governor that has that power and right to do, and it is the governor that is now exercising his own constitutional power. So I do not see any reason why people will be bandying around the name of Alhaji Musa Kwankwaso. So it's an allegation, and I feel it should remain at the realms of allegations. Because since from the day the National State Assembly started the process of amending the law, Alhaji Musa Kwankwaso is not in Kano, up to the stage where the law was signed by the governor. Alhaji Musa Kwankwaso is not in Kano, and I have not heard or seen him getting involved in this particular matter. So I stand with people that believe Alhaji Musa Kwankwaso's name or hand should not be bandied around. It is the sole prerogative of the governor, and the governor has exercised his right within the confines of the law governing the Emirate Council law of Kano State.
All right then, but Given the historical significance of the emirship in Kano, what measures are being taken to ensure that the resolution of this crisis does not further lead to unrest or division among the people? I was talking to one of our reporters on ground earlier, and there were reports about a meeting that was held until about 1 a.m. last night between, the Kano State Governor Abba Yusuf and Mohammed Sanusi II. In a meeting with security chiefs in the state, of course, following this ongoing dispute within the royal family. What exactly, if you can give us details about it, as well as what's being done to make sure that there isn't a breakdown of law and order?
Well, I think, number one, I have to congratulate the people of Kano State first, because throughout the process, the people of Kano State, whatever has happened has already happened. The people have been law-abiding and they are concentrating on their own businesses. When you move around the city of Kano, if you are not within the vicinity of where the two palaces resides, you will not even know that anything is happening in Kano. And from government side, we have been doing everything humanly possible that we can to prevent the breakdown of law and order. No government will sit down and allow the breakage of law and order. The responsibility of government is to protect the lives and properties of people in the state. And we are doing everything humanly possible to ensure that no one is hurt because of this issue. And even the security agencies, no matter what, I must commend them. They are on the ground and you can see them. They have done a lot of deployments around the city, and added with the fact that the people of the state are not interested in any crisis. So I don't see any reason why we can be afraid for now. The only issue of concern from the side of the government is that even if the former emir has some grouses with what has happened, the best way he should go about it is to go through the courts of law. Already, if, as they are saying that there is a court order, which of course, even now as I'm speaking to you, the Kano State government has not seen, cited or received any court order. We have only seen this court order being bandied around in the social media, and we all know the process. Once there is an order from the court, it has to be served. And if it has been served, there is always an evidence that it has been served. So since there is no processes which the state government is aware, he should have stayed away and follow the fight for his fundamental right. It doesn't have to be from within Kano, because that is the only thing that is causing tension right now as I speak to you in Kano. But no matter what, despite this, we are still on ground and we are making sure that we will not allow the breakage of law and order. And the state government, in consonance with the security agencies, will do everything humanly possible to make sure that this does not snowball into any crisis that cannot be contained.
Thank you, sir. 4 years ago, when the Emir Mohammed Sanusi was dethroned, he left Kano without any sort of noise or any coming back to create any type of tension in the state. Do you believe that the now deposed Emir Bayero should do the same thing? And also, I want to know if you hold the former governor of Kano State and the current APC national chairman, Abba Ganduje, responsible for the current crisis going on in the state?
Well, you see the action of His Royal Majesty Sanusi of leaving Kano and staying away from Kano throughout these whole years and concentrating on his life outside Kano. That shows nothing but statesmanship. And I dove my heart personally for him. I'm speaking on myself here. I dove my heart for him personally for that action that he has said. And for the deposed Emir Alhaji Amina Ado Bayero, I have already mentioned that the best action that he should have taken is by staying away from the state and going to court to fight for his fundamental right. It will have been more civil than what is going on here. And for people that are involved in these actions against the state, I am not going to make any categorical statement on who exactly is behind this matter. But all I can be able to tell you is that we are making investigations, and at the end of the investigations, despite the names that you have already heard of people who are being thought to be actors in this particular matter, we will come out with a full report of what happened and who were behind all this that has happened, because this is a historical point and it is an interesting thing. Let me even tell you on a lighter mood. You see, the kingdom of Kano, more than 1,000 years ago, it was established through a lot of battles and a lot of wars. Those days when we used to fight with the bow and arrow and the horses. So for the kingdom of Kano to be established, those wars were fought at several fronts up to the point where the state, the traditional institution was established. So even now, as I'm speaking to you, I think another battle and another war is being fought to maintain the history of Kano State, even though this war is not being fought with bows and arrows or with the guns and the gunships, but it is being fought with intelligence, and rather, let me use the word, maybe an artificial intelligence. And at the end of the day, the Kano State traditional institution lost glory will be reestablished, and going forward, one emir for Kano State will be the mainstay.
All right. I know you've said that you're not going to make any categorical statement as to who is involved, but you did say earlier that you don't believe Rabiu Kwankwaso is involved in, you know, this dethronement. But earlier I had asked you, the deputy governor of Kano State on live television had claimed that the removal of Ado Bayero was sponsored by the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, and that he had provided a plane that he used. I'd asked you that earlier, but this is the deputy governor of Kano State making these allegations, and you're the special advisor to the governor on internal affairs. I'd like your, contribution to this. I'd like to know, the viewers would love to know, because now we are hearing that soldiers are guarding the Ado Bayero at the Nasarawa Palace, and we also hear that soldiers accompanied the the emir, the deposed emir, from Ogun State, where he was before his ousting. Indeed, for anybody who is in Kano, who goes around Kano, it is not a hidden secret that soldiers are guarding the deposed Emir Alhaji Amina Ado Bayero. If you can send your cameraman, if they move around, they will see it. For anybody that is in Kano, they are there. Everybody has seen them. It is not a hidden secret. Everybody knows that the soldiers are there with him. I don't know if they followed from Ogun, but here in Kano, I can tell you that exactly has happened. And for what His Excellency the Deputy Governor said, the Deputy Governor is somebody who has more information indeed than any other person. And since the Deputy Governor made those statements, unfortunately, I have not been able to sit him down, sit down with His Excellency the Deputy Governor, so that I can be able to get his own take, particularly on the statements that he has made, because I have been personally busy moving around the state with other government officials to be sure that we have done our own contributions on maintaining the peace of the city. And now that you have asked me this question frontally, once I am done with this invitation, I will meet the Deputy Governor and I will have his take on his information. That means when next you ask me this question, I can be in a position to tell you exactly how involved the office of the NSA is.
Okay, but the Federal High Court had issued this last-minute order stopping the state government from abolishing all 5 emirates created during the administration of the former governor, Abdullahi Ganduje, returning to the system where only one emir ruled Kano. However, the current governor is saying he doesn't recognize this ruling. Is it maybe a situation where it just needs to make sure that both parties need to wait till June 3rd so that it's sorted out in court, as opposed to this back and forth where both parties are not recognizing, the stance of the other?
You see, the issue of the court, we abide and respect court orders. As a government, whatever order that comes from the court, we will respect it. But you have to even be served the order before you can even talk about it. Yesterday, the Attorney General of Kano State has issued a statement that as the Attorney General of Kano State, up to the time when he issued his statement last night, no one has approached him or his office with any order of court. So there is no order before the state government. So tackles the issue of either respecting the order or not respecting the order. You cannot even talk about the order. Let me tell you two interesting things here. Number one, when we saw this order on social media, we were all surprised because his lordship, Justice Liman, who was alleged to have been the judge that has issued this order, from the information reaching us, is that he's not even in the country. So we are surprised when we saw the order. We assumed that it is not even a real order, because if somebody is out of the country, I don't know how he can be approached and issue an order from outside the shores of Nigeria. And then apart from that, when you are even looking at it from the legal perspective, this is a federal high court issuing an order against an issue which is the prerogative of the state and the State Assembly. And this matter that we are talking about it, the Supreme Court has even rested this issue several years ago in Tukur versus Gongola, when the then Emir of Muri was deposed, and then he approached the Federal High Court seeking the protection of his fundamental right. And Justice Obaseki of blessed memory, in his own ruling, a very beautiful ruling, he ruled that you cannot, the Federal High Court does not have the right or power to interfere in activities that are the prerogative of the State High Court. And if they have to even rule on which they have the power, that is the power of looking at the issue of the fundamental human right, you cannot do one part and leave the other part. That is ancillary. They are only dealing on the ancillary matter, the matter of the fundamental human right, avoiding the substantive issue. And in the ruling of the Supreme Court, they said you cannot give half judgment, judging on the issue of the fundamental right. Because where does the issue of the fundamental right comes in? It is because he has been deposed. So once the issue of him being deposed come in, so even the issue of the fundamental human right needs not to even arise. So the only court that you can approach by rulings of the Supreme Court is to go to the State High Court. So if the Federal High Court is issuing a judgment, is issuing an order now, so this is nothing but a judicial rascality, as the courts, the Supreme Courts have said in several instances when courts are dealing on matters which they lack jurisdiction. And then another aspect that you will even look at is that Justice Liman has already been elevated to the Court of Appeal. So by his elevation to the Court of Appeal, there is a legal term. I'm sorry, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm just making an attempt so that the viewers can be able to understand based on our own reading of the law books as laymen. So even what we know is that he has already been elevated to the Court of Appeal. So I don't know, someone who has already gone to the Court of Appeal, I don't know why he is still here at the Federal High Court. But I'm sure whatever it is, once the judgment or the order is served on the Kano State, our team of lawyers and the Office of the Attorney General will not hesitate. They will approach the court. We will forever and ever respect any court ruling that comes from competent jurisdiction. But let me tell you, even if the governor said he would not even respect it, let me cite INEC. Whenever INEC has always said that any order that comes to it, it has to come from the competent authority. You cannot go to a Sharia court and then seek an order from a Sharia court that a name of a candidate should be removed, because everybody knows that the Sharia court lacks the jurisdiction to issue an order to INEC for anything that has to do on election matters. It is only the Federal High Court that has the right and the power to do that. So same here on issue of the issue of emirship, the laws which are predominantly Kano laws, only the Kano High Court has that power. So I am sure if we are even to follow by the trend of how INEC has been operating as a government institution, then we are right if we say that this is not a competent order order, because the competent order is supposed to come from the state high court based on the ruling of Supreme Court, and we respect whatever the Supreme Court says.
All right, Mohammed Yusuf, wrapping up, just really quickly is a yes or no answer. Did the governor order the arrest of Ado Bayero for creating tension in the state? Because the police is denying that they have received any such order.
The spokesman of the governor has issued that statement. So since the statement has come from the spokesman of the governor, yes, His Excellency, the governor of Kano State, has issued that order.
Well, all
yes.
right. Well, all right. We'd like to thank you very much for joining us on the morning show.